systems are go. About 90 seconds to the launch destination.
Mind you, we swore an oath of loyalty, but we are still senators. It's not more speeches in the Senate that will change the world. Rome is dying.
My legions are mustering as swiftly as possible. General Gaius Julius Caesar! Enough!
Senators, welcome back to episode 20 in my Stellaris Roman Empire campaign. In the last episode, we destroyed the Nerilga swarm, cutting off all of its planets and watching while its claims on space evaporated. Now they're dying off in the billions, across numerous planets. Upon our victory, we started construction of our first megastructure, the frame of a particle accelerator in the Vega system. As well as that, we also further progressed our study of the stars and alien wildlife throughout the galaxy. We continue now with the large reorganization of our planets. A lot has been queued up for the next few years, and I've decommissioned several starbases, as well as decolonized the Atoll World of the newly named Alexandria. It's necessary to get a new colony ship up there with the right tools in order to create a resort world. As well as that, I've named a few systems, I've changed a few things around, but largely it's as we left it. For instance, we have the Opsia System, named after the famous battle where Titus Opsius rushed and held the Nerilga swarm before they could warp to the Elysium system. Of course, we still see some of the debris that's been left over from that fight still remaining several years later. And this system is going to really be focused on defense in the name of Opsius. And what I'm hoping to do is have a large defense base here, as it is a nice choke point, as well as a natural wormhole to the southern hemisphere, if you will, of the galaxy. So that's kind of a perfect little junction for us there, and I think it's a good name for it too. Alexandria is going to have its own starbase that's going to be focused on trade. Of course, the world itself will be a resort world, the crown jewel of the empire, so to speak. And as such, I want this to be a trade mega hub and have a whole trade sector dedicated to this area in general. So that's going to be the goal for kind of that area up there. And that's pretty much where I left off. I haven't done too much else. I've just queued a lot of stuff up. I spent like 10,000 in minerals, so let's let time play. Let all our buildings do their thing. I'm going to start wrapping the fleet around to get back down to the west of Site 1066-7 Override. I'd originally said that this war was perfect because we'd end up on the right side of it, but there actually is not a connection on this side. We'd have to go through the Veldener Zealots to get to the back of Site 1066-7 Override, unless we did get that jump drive, and then perhaps we could just hop in wherever we wanted to. I mean, we could do that wherever. But that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. We can actually see their fleet right now. Let's take a quick look at it. Small. As we know, the Site 1066-7 Override are not a threat. They're inferior, or pathetic, I think. I think they're just inferior in terms of their fleet. So let's have a look. They're rocking blue lasers, coil guns, level 2 shields, level 1 armor. You know, we just got our level 4 armor. It's not really going to be much of a contest. It's just going to take us some time to get around and be prepared for it. Unlike the Nerilga swarm, this war will be based on claims. So that's something we're going to have to work towards, which is claiming efficiently, trying to take out several of the systems. If we land on just their planets again, similarly to the Nerilga swarm, their space will collapse. So we could obviously potentially try that out as well. As there is a strong cluster, I guess not actually, this one is so far away, it would require quite a bit of claiming to do. In fact, it might be the kind of situation where we go to war with the Veldenor just for one system, so that we can then gain entry to the east side of Site 1066-7 Override, push towards the core of the galaxy, and then figure out a way to actually access the core, as we do have that in our current situation log, which is something we might think about doing in future. Alright, so the Order of Enlightenment made peace with the Valon Cluster. Not much of a deal there. It's apparently no territory changed hands, even though the Order definitely had loads of territory belonging to the Thoggin and the Valon. But amazingly, no territory actually changed hands. And we need to read about the Thoggin. We'll definitely read about the Thoggin and the Voss city-states. Are the last two empires, I think, to read about at some point in this episode. Alright, so we're all queued up out of our minds. Everything's going swimmingly. We're starting to use our construction ships to get everything around this area. I actually decommissioned, I think, in total 5 star bases, but 2 of them are building right now, so there's that to think about. And of course, we're reverse engineering the Vazarin hegemony's technology so we can learn more about them. From when we found it in the Epsilon Indy system. And as well as that, in the Vega system, we are currently at 73% for the Stellar Particle Accelerator. You can actually see it's almost done. They just need to fill in the back there. And that's just the beginning of it, though. I think there's a second phase. And I realized in the last episode, or the one before even, I was saying like, oh, I wish I knew what it did. I wish it would tell me. It obviously does tell you right when you hover over it. Produces 150 physics, but it does also provide 25% shield bonuses, I think, to the system it's in. Not that that really matters, but that was probably one of the things I was looking for in the tooltip when I originally couldn't see it. Often when I'm reading a tooltip and I'm like, damn, I can't see it, whatever the thing is I'm looking for, it's because I'm looking for a number that I have in my head that's not there. At least part of the reason. But obviously, yes, I am blind sometimes. I don't see things. I don't know why I'm like that. It's just the way I am. So we just discovered the wormhole over here. Let's see where it goes. So that's the Walmoro system. That's another one that goes to the far south. Oh, into the Voss. So now we have a wormhole that leads us straight into the... Did we read about the Golden? I actually don't think we did. That's 3 empires to read about then. These 3 here. So there's the Golden, and then the Voss city-states. So we don't have a way into the Thoggin Emergence, but we've got a way into the south really easily now. So that's going to allow us to, we have full control of this area. Obviously, Tyrian Republic is ours, and then we can access the south should we wish. And there's a wormhole here, which we could go through. They're sort of our allies, the Kosher Trade League. We're defensive allies. We can go through their space, no doubt. All right, looking good then. So on the east side of things, I'm just going to send out my science ship, going to research as much as we can, and then claim systems in a while. If we go to war with Site 1066-7 Override, which we are moving our ships around to do so, that needs to be fought by claims. So we have to save up a lot of influence for that. And that's what we're going to be working towards, basically. Admin cap increase, naval capacity increase, job output increase. Let's go with that. Synthetic thought patterns. Thinking outside the box merely places you in another, somewhat larger box. And we'll see our ships make their way out to Alexandria soon. I actually don't know where they're going to be coming from. I'm pretty sure I just automatically queued it up. So if we check the shipyards... Colony ship... Yeah, it's probably coming from all the way back here. That's alright, though. It'll take some time. It actually costs quite a bit of influence to do that as well. So influence might be something we have to work on. Let's do that. Fleet command limit increased. So to work on influence, a handy thing to do would be to rival these guys. It's time we unplugged you once and for all. Drill 087. Boom. Excellent. Lacking a little bit now on the consumer goods side of things. It's a bit worrying. I'm sure we'll be fine though. Once our trade gets up and running again, I think we'll make that back. And yeah, I'll just keep an eye on civilian ships here just to make sure that there's nothing that needs to be doing something. Alright, so we've learned about the Vazarin hegemonies. Is that what it was? Yeah, reverse engineering their wreckage. That's what it was. So after running multiple experiments, let's see, is it still out there? It is still there, so we can just have a look at it here. After running multiple experiments on the salvaged damper field generator, our scientists were able to establish a solid understanding of its capabilities. Unlike our shields, which absorb the energy of incoming attacks until they're depleted, the field of this generator creates permanently suppressed energy transmissions so that only a fraction of them reach the protected object. While it works against any kind of weapon, tests have shown it to be most effective against energy-based ones. Though the application of this technology to our own fleet might seem tempting at first, our experiments demonstrated problematic side effects caused by this protected device. The suppression of energy transmission is not limited on energy coming from outside its zone of effect, but affects internal ship systems as well. So far, no way of shielding them from the damper field's effects have been found. Our scientists have only managed to gain a rudimentary understanding of the technology's underlying scientific principles. However, this is nonetheless a significant step in overcoming the Vazaran technological superiority and should improve our chances of battle against their ships. Right, so it's basically just saying we've kind of figured it out, but we still haven't figured it out to the point where we can equip it. So we do damage to Vazarans 20%, and a research option has been gained for damper field bypass. Damper field bypass. Damage to Vazarans 40%. I love the sound of that. Right, well, let's continue getting our quantum computation node. And then we'll get that afterwards, because we saw a raid recently down in the Order of Enlightenment territory. So that's what we got to watch out for there. Senate is currently in session. Support is going to go through for buzzword standardization, which is going to affect our upkeep of consumer goods even further.
Construction online.
Alright, we're pretty much all done. This is an awesome looking little system. Oh, yeah, I remember we were traveling across here in the last episode. Right, so we want to take Alphard. We're just working currently on surveying. Oh yeah, cool. So once that's surveyed, we can take that system as well.
System surveyed.
System surveyed. The Woo system. Alright, we're queued up for the next stuff anyway. And the Tundra World. Oh yeah, I just remembered actually. The Eris colony. 25 slot. We want to convert this into a Gaia world. Boom. Alright. We'll have to deal with them. More slaves. That's what we use the Nubal for. Slavery. This is a super energy efficient world. Alright, cool. So what do we got? Building costs is reduced and habitability is hampered, but it doesn't really matter when it's a Gaia. Minerals from jobs, 5%, and max mining districts because of asteroid impacts here. Alright, cool. Well, I'll probably focus on generators for the time being. And we might resettle the Nubal onto one of our other Gaia worlds. So we have, I mean, there's so many Gaia worlds. What was it called? It's literally called Gaia and Rhea, wasn't it? Yeah, so we're going to move them out there. This is where the Nubal are sort of concentrated. I'd rather just keep them together. I don't know why. It's just something I'd like to do. As our starbases. Starbases are almost ready to upgrade. That's going to set us back even more alloys.
Online.
There we go. We just got 3 set up. So that's one at the Jinkath system, which is a bit of a cross choke point. We've got one at the Opsia system, and then Alexandria itself. And that's going to be focused on trade. So I'm going to save the alloys. I want all my alloys to go towards just straight up getting the megastructure done at Vega. We're at 90% now for the Stellar Particle Accelerator. You can see our little ships doing their thing from the construction ship coming in and out of it. That's so cool. I love that. Alright, nice. Alright, our quantum computation node is done. Let's get the Vazaran hegemony damage, the damper field bypass. Deeper insight into the underlying physical laws of the damper field technology is based on will allow us to bypass its effect on our weaponry, at least to some degree. I know I read that a bit wrong, but you get the idea. Alright, cool. 90 alloys now. Yeah, so over at Elysium, our forge world, these are being upgraded one by one, which is causing us huge issues for amenities. I think not just because of that, but just because we're pulling pops away from the clerk's job. Someone's died. Governor Decimus Bantius died at the age of 112. That might be the oldest person we've ever had. I wish I could remember what he did. He was just the governor out here on Augustus, just the one planet in this system. Bureaucracy is the best thing for him out here, so we have actually 2 bureaucrats at Titia Ebutius or Agrippa Umbrius. I'll go for the younger one. So Titia. She'll be a little bit more efficient. Admin cap from bureaucrats, 10%. And we get, I don't know how much admin cap out of this place, but probably a lot. 195, so she's adding 10% to that. It's perfect. It's brilliant, you know, it's basically 20 extra. Yeah, we want to make sure that we prioritize people working those clerk jobs because our immunity suffers in a lot of places when we don't. We need way more jobs out here. There's 8. Yeah, so the reason there's 8 unemployed rulers, just in case you're like, what the hell happened there? That is a lot. I don't know why they're all rulers, essentially, but I moved 3 senators out of the world that was over here and put them here instead. So when a colony ship touches down on Alexandria, we'll move them back, and they should have a job in no time over there. But it is, yeah, it's a little bit of an inefficiency. It's because I built a planetary capital here, and I shouldn't have, because you can't, for some reason, I didn't know this, but you can't actually make a resort world. Well, we're not on it right now, but you can't make a resort world even if you've built a capital, and you can't dismantle a capital. You have to move the pops off and then put them back. It's a bit weird, but that's just the way it is. I want this to be a resort world. That was a technology we got in the last episode. It puts it increases amenities on all other worlds if you have one, but it doesn't allow you to build districts. This is kind of a small world, you know, at 15 slots or size. So I think it's kind of a perfect candidate, and lore-wise, it just, or like immersion-wise, it just kind of fits. You know, it's this beautiful, pristine-looking planet. It's an Atoll World. Let's actually have a read of it, like what an Atoll World specifically is. These are, whoops. That's added as part of the mods that we're running. While tectonics did not allow the formation of large land masses on this world, it was nonetheless covered in massive undersea volcanoes, constantly forming smaller islands. Over the eons, many of these volcanic islands eroded and were covered by the ocean, becoming home to megacorals. The megacorals form the distinctive giant atolls of this tropical paradise. Distributed almost evenly from pole to pole, the giant coral islands of this world are a true masterpiece of natural creation. Yeah, so it's just this like, you know, it's like the Caribbean or something, but even more perfect. So I like to think, yeah, it's the holiday destination of the Empire, you know? Okay, cool. So Gaia's got some issues. 3 unemployed pops. Well, let's upgrade this building. I added the food processing facilities. Let's improve that as well. Speaking of food, we just maxed it out. Let's see if we can give even more food to the Tyrene Republic one more time. I don't know if you can give it to them even if they're like full up. Food. And this time I won't ask for anything back, we'll just give it to them. And that helps with our how much they like us and things like that, so that's good. If we have an excess of anything, that's what we should really do with it. The Stellar Particle Accelerator construction. So this is the first stage. The construction site located near Vega is now finished. We may now begin working on the actual particle accelerator, which will wrap around the star, making it possible to accelerate particles to tremendous speeds. I wonder is its size messed up, or because it says it will wrap around the star, so I don't know if it's compatible or not, or I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me anyway. But we need 5,000 alloys to do this. We gain about 100 a month, so we won't be able to continue it for a while. But our construction ship doesn't need to be here anymore. But that's what I plan on working on, is just getting that up and running.
New technology discovered.
Alright, engineering has been increased. Advanced Materials Laboratory. What is with the amount of, like, technological buildings? Seems like too much. Maybe that's why our technology is so crazy, because we've already built a couple of them. But I'll be damned if I'm not going to get it. I mean, there's new star fortresses there, which is pretty cool. But I kind of want the tech, you know? So, let's get that. Rare technologies. So on Tiberium, let's see. We've got room for a new building. And it's the quantum computation node. Researchers turn consumer goods into more research points for technologies. Yep. Job-based production, 2020. And there's 5 jobs for them. That seems crazy. That game seems crazy good. Let's get it. So much tech. And our diplomatic weight from tech is just increased all the time.
Surveyed.
Natural sanctuaries, I'm opposing them. I'm supporting the formation of a galactic council. So we can push our way in and take over. And we have planetary shields on a lot of these places as well. Not our new worlds. This place is slowly being destroyed, Kandia, as the pops are being purged here. We have some humans living on the planet though, of course. It is a boundless ocean. We'll need to move these guys eventually if we want to actually consecrate this world, which I plan on doing. So it's going to take a while. Still quite a few Norilga to go. 10%. And that's 44. So they were on about 80, I think, when we took them over. So now they're on 44. So half of them have perished.
Colony founded.
New colony in the planet Hades.
Charted.
Within the star. Let's just say it's on the periphery. We kind of understand. But yeah, this is the planet with the satellites around it and the quarantine beacons. Do not land extreme danger. I worry now that I've recolonized it. It might trigger something, but we'll have to just see over time. Oh yeah, so I'm trading away a lot of these minerals. We can stop doing that for now. Let's just balance out our economy and see what happens. We should be making loads of minerals. Something like 500, I would imagine. We're at 3.1 thousand minerals. We could buy, alloys. We could just buy the rest of the alloys. It is not efficient to do so, but I'm kind of lazy. So I might just do this. Let's do it for 1.2. And that way we've only got 500 alloys to go before we can continue the particle accelerator. And then we truly will be a tech powerhouse. And then we can invest the rest of our alloys into our actual star bases. We can take this one though for sure. Alright, good. The colony ship is on the way to Alexandria. If we have a look at our contacts list, I'd be curious to see who's at war and who isn't. That filter doesn't work. So let's see. The Dawenu Trade Commission is at war with the Veldener Zealots, as is the Kosher Trade League. Of course, yes, so that's still ongoing. They're vassals. Traxian Empire is at war with the Voss City States. That's kind of cool. You know what? Let's have a read of them now. I think the time is now. If they're at war with the Traxian, they look like they're getting eradicated. Let's have a little look. Where's their capital? Their capital seems to have been taken over. Voskind, I think, is their capital. Yep. Oh my god, yeah, they're occupied and everything. Planet's currently occupied. Well, let's have a read. The Voss City States, a minarchy. Erudite explorers. So their ethics are fanatic libertarian, materialist, and fanatic competitive. Their civics, they have architectural prowess, innovative economy, and a spirit of freedom, which is increasing their trade values. So they seem to be almost megacorp in how they lean, not so much, but lean into the trade there a lot. And they are, like I said, a minarchy. I've never really heard of that. A form of minimal night watchman state that is not responsible for the education, healthcare, employment, or transportation of its citizens. Neither makes it any use of natural resources in its territory. All this is instead held privately or publicly, but is never susceptible to any interference of the state, its law, or representatives. Alright, so they're children of the dunes, which means once the homeland of this civilization was a normal planet with a mild, temperate climate, I guess, but with consequences of a long-term forgotten catastrophe turned this world into a scorching desert. The inhabitants of this water-scarce adapted their bodies to endure deprivation and led an extremely dry lifestyle. So I guess it used to be like, yeah, much more water on the planet. They're called the Evabians. Alright, so Voss has been rapidly heating for several hundred millennia due to several supervolcanic eruptions dumping trillions of CO2 into the atmosphere. Though this event has long since passed, its effects are still felt by the Evabians, who, with their technological prowess, attempted to genetically modify themselves to withstand the increasing heat and lack of water that future generations would face. After many decades, Evabians with access to the modifications thrived, and those who couldn't afford them perished. The population dwindled so much that now there's only a few city-states on Voss housing the Evabians, with a small percentage living nomad lifestyles. Birth rates began to decline with each generation inexplicably, Further modification to the genome couldn't stimulate the reproductive organs, and almost all children born to Avabians are done so through artificial means, largely evening out the population. The Avabians now look to the stars for a solution and another world to call home. Alright, let's have a read about their species specifically, their traits. So the Avabians have a desert preference. They are the last children. This clever species genetically modified themselves decades ago, but this advance had catastrophic side effects resulting in low birth rates. They might be the last children of their species. They are a paragon, so they're very intelligent. Obviously not that intelligent, I guess. They have basic cybernetics. Members of the species utilize very simple cybernetics, giving them more habitability, damage, and leader lifespan. And they have nostalgia. The species shows a strong attachment to their homeworld. Some of them might be able to leave their birthplace, but are prone to lifelong depression. That's kind of sad. So it's just like a whole species that the planet's atmosphere was changing. They tried to change themselves to keep up with it. They were very intelligent and advanced to be able to do that, but unfortunately unforeseen consequences mean that their reproductive cycle was affected later down the line, and they are basically evening out for population and unable to grow that much. And now they are probably going to become slaves to the Traxian Empire. So that is the Voss city-states. Alright, the last one I think we'll read is the Golden Consortium. We also have to read the Thoggin Emergence. So the Golden Consortium. Did I read this one? I don't know. Let's check it out anyway. I can't remember it. So the Golden Consortium. They are oligarchic republic. They're libertarian, spiritualist, anthropocentrism, and fanatic elitism. They also have architectural prowess. They are a patrimonial aristocracy. They have an entrenched nobility that occupies the upper echelons of society. They have mining guilds. Several large mining guilds have reached a dominant position in this society. The government relies heavily on their support. They are subterranean. The change in the activity of the sun turned the native world of this civilization into a hot wasteland, and they had nowhere to go but deep underground. For many centuries, they dug tunnels and built cities until they finally realized that this flaming crypt could not be their home forever. And let's read about them. So they're called the Golden. So Bothmaris, the Koldars. I'm confused. Oh yeah, so each one of them is a Koldar, is it? Anyway, whatever. Bothmaris, the Koldars' home star, has steadily experienced a dramatic increase in solar flares for decades. As they've become more severe, the Koldar began a series of engineering projects spanning generations to tunnel deep into the Earth to provide shelter from the increased radiation. Over the centuries, enormous amounts of wealth was accrued by the mining guilds that funded both public and private tunnels. The government body now struggles between upholding its libertarian values and appeasing the nobles that will be needed to fund the search for a new home. It's clear that Bothria's surface is dead. Man, I guess I gravitate to writing really sad, dark stories. Nobody's just like, hey, our planet's great and everything's perfect. Except for, I guess, the apathetic starfish dudes. Let's check out their traits. So the Golden. There they are. So they have the Alpine preference, even though they do live on a desert world. They have fast adaptation, so increased habitability. Their technicism, so they're better at engineering. I guess that's to do with their tunnels. Unflinching. The species has an unflinching spirit. Although their bodies can be dominated, their minds cannot break. Cannot be broken. So yeah, I guess they have increased political power if they are a slave. And then hunters. The species still depends on hunting for a large part of their food production. Alright, and then the very last empire to read is the Thoggin Emergence. And they live on Thrall, on a relic world. Alright, so let's check them out. The Thoggin Emergence, a Soviet republic, despicable neutrals. They're pacifists, they're fanatic pluralism, and they have fanatic cooperativism. They have socialist ideals, industrial democracy, and ascended meritocracy. They're in a federation with the Interstellar League with the other Soviets, or socialist ideals, I should say, the Valon Cluster. So they have from the ashes. Once this civilization traveled between the stars, spreading to distant worlds, or so the legends tell. Now it's possible. Now its people live beneath the ruins of a world that once was an endless city, now recaptured by nature. As they rise from the ashes of the past, they do so aware that the destroyers of ancients may still be out there in the void. So they're called the Thoggin. Let's have a little read. There they are. So they have the continental preference. Industrious for mining, rapid breeders, increasing their pop growth speed. They're small. Members of the species are small relative to other species. They can grow to be a few dozen centimeters long. Wow, they're really small. A few dozen centimeters, so like what, like 30 centimeters long? Yeah, small little creatures. And they are very fleeting. Time is fleeting for the species. What they lack in longevity, they have to make up in other ways. And there's about 90 of them. They're slightly genetically modified to give them the ignis fatuus trait. Members of the species can produce a flame without any artificial substance. Interesting. And they live on this relic world. Alright, so I think that's pretty much all the empires in the galaxy. I'm pretty sure there's a fallen empire over here, maybe even 2. We've only come across 1, and I think there's 3. The one we know is there. And there's also supposed to be like marauders, which I don't know where they are. They could be, for all I know, like in here, in any of these kind of gaps. But we don't know. In fact, what I could do is speak to the pop privateers and maybe see if we can make communication with them. I know people asked me to do that a while back. They don't want to give me communication. Damn. Maybe the Traxians do? I doubt it. Wow, really? Well, maybe the Kosher Trade League know more than we know. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Yeah, that's better. Okay, what could we give them? Maybe some energy, just straight up pay for it. There you go. Let's see if we encounter anybody. No. Nobody. Waste of energy. Oh well. Yeah, I'm sure we'll encounter someone eventually. Like, there's no point talking to the ancient eradicators or any of these. Like, no one's oh, there's actually a... Oh, we did find one. Yeah, we did. We just found one. Okay, cool. The Corellian Conservers. Stagnant Ascendancy, the Keepers of Knowledge. They have a singular purpose, fanatic materialists, lethargic leadership, and empire in decline. Okay, we don't know much about them, other than they seem to be tech-focused. Alright, let's get back to our own empire. That's enough lore. Speaking of lore, archaeological site pending. The homeworld of the Astinine. We actually went further. I cannot believe it. Alright, so we get to learn a little bit more about what happened out here. And this, of course, is the system with the ring world, or the small orbital habitat ring. The last projector was found in the basement, which, much to our surprise, still works. Our team played the recordings and learned about the end of the Astinine Empire. They came out victorious against the rebels, but the holographic technologies were seen as taboos and were banned for several years. Years of civil war and the absence of the holographic technologies, the Astinine quickly lost power, and their over-reliance of those technologies in the past years had left them helpless without those. Meanwhile, the Tistra, who had taken advantage of the time the Astinine spent fighting the rebels to rebuild their forces, declared war on the Astinine once again, which brought an end to the Empire along with their holographic technologies. Okay. Interesting story and concepts. I guess, like people were saying, probably not written by someone who speaks English as a first language. And no hate, by the way. I don't speak any other languages, so I can't imagine what it must be like to write it. But people who do speak English do make the mod, so I feel like they could give it a pass. You know, quick run over it. But a pretty cool story, though, generally. Just the idea of using projectors to project fleets, and how then it could be integrated into society, and how it can mess with people's lives. That was cool overall. But a bit of an underwhelming end, I must say. I thought more was going to happen, especially regarding the habitat. I mean, I guess they built that habitat as a launch pad to attack the planet, which is also a cool concept. What a shame, though. So we get 2,000 energy, 1,000 physics, and 10,000 unity. Because that was a big one to try and finish. And we're not done, are we?
Technology discovered.
Well, it's still ongoing. But it seems like we finished it. Let them just keep doing it for now. So we flew through the next Unity section. Unity costs, or a new tradition costs us 15,000. We just got 10,000, so we'll grab that really quickly. Overwhelming force, ship fire rate increased by 10%, and orbital bombardment by 20% damage.
Construction online.
Alright, we're almost done. Resources from job 5%. Improved crystal farms. Governance centralized state. A new centralized authority stance policy. Diplomatic weight 10%. Let's get that. Alright, we're getting close to having the alloys we need. Do you want to continue the deal with these guys? No. I don't think we need to. Actually, no, yeah, fine. I'll just say no. I'll just say no, because I can't even remember exactly what the deal was. So that's out here. Interested in strategic resources. I think I was getting 5 crystals. Was that what it was? Monthly trades 5. Yeah, for 50 energy. Actually, yeah, we'll get it again. They're up to 96 now. Cool. And I think we could build a starbase here, and we can build something that gives us a benefit from those guys. So that might be a good idea. The embedded cache is still down there. Don't really know what's going on with that, to be honest. And why we always get that noise from the Enclave, I don't know. Governor Tiberia Volosena died at the age of 87. It's quite young compared to some of the other deaths we've been seeing. This is the governor of Colonia Pacifica. We still need to rename that. Let's get Mino Metius on the case. Alright. Got some unemployment now. Just have to go through these really quickly. 6 unemployed workers out here. Let's improve. We can change this bureaucracy building into something else. We don't need it anymore. The quantum computation node. Slave processing. A Zro distillery. I think we'll get that then. It's not going to fix the unemployment anytime soon, but it's kind of interesting. I feel like our pops are growing so fast now. I can't even keep up. $33 out of 34. 34 now. So that's huge alloy production that we have now on Elysium. So on Elysium, seeing as Terra has too many pops, let's move some pops from Terra. If we can grab some of the unemployed workers. And that should just help things out generally. And then we can also, yeah, there should be, God, amenities are pretty bad here. And we've distributed extra luxury goods. So let's improve the commercial. Oh my God, we got so many building slots as well. What the hell? Just put down another commercial zone thing. I can't really afford the crystals to improve them, so we'll just do it that way. All right, cool. A resolution's being passed on buzzword standardization. Excellent. All good. All right, so let's check in on where our fleet is. It's at the Trab system, where it can actually be built up and get some improvements, as there's starbase or shipyards and things like that here. So if we wanted to improve what we could do, we have the 5,000 now needed to improve the megastructure out here. So let's stellar particle accelerator. Let's build it. Monthly upkeep 25 and 5. So 25 energy and 5 alloys. It's going to take, what's that, 10 years? Something like that? It's 5 years. Yeah, so unfortunately it doesn't actually fit around the star properly, but whatever. It's all good. Don't know why it does that. It's probably just a scaling thing based on the different mods. Edicts have expired. All of the recycling campaign is done. All the military ones have expired, so we'll leave them. Alright, well, now I want to build up just a little bit more alloys, and then we're going to improve our fleet and keep sending it west and start doing our claims against the Site 1066-7 override. Is there anything left for me in the situation log? Locate the galactic core. We can do that later. The Assadine Empire. Yeah, this is still there. It makes me feel like we haven't finished it then, the Assadine stuff. Maybe I need to land on... Also, how much is that? That's 15,000 to repair that? We need mega engineering, okay. I guess now's the time. Like, let's build a colony ship to land on this. We're lacking the alloys right now. Okay. Yeah, it's still ongoing. Bit of a weird one. Difficulty 12 again. Yeah, so, yeah, I guess there's more to find out. Apparently. But it did say, like, the end, so, strange. Incoming transmission from the Pentholin Progenitors, which is the Fallen Empire that are down here. Greetings, humans. As you no doubt know, we, the Pentholin, are dedicated to the study and conservation of all forms of life in the galaxy. We have studied your species and determined that the Roman Empire is unlikely to last for more than a few centuries at best. To ensure the continuation of the human species, should the worst befall your empire, we'd like to acquire a part of your population for our endangered species preserve. We'll construct a special reservation that perfectly mirrors the natural habitat of your species, and its population will be taken care of and protected from all harm, so you don't have to worry about their behalf. So what will you say? Will you contribute to our preserve and safeguard the future of your species? No. We'll never surrender our population to alien hands. Humans belong in the Roman Empire. Unemployment on Elysium, I know. Few criminals are of no concern. Yeah, let's do that. And let's see, can we negotiate with the crime lords? 25 influence, stability increased, crime is increased though. Launch an anti-crime campaign. Alright, let's do that. And then also, so Aulus Hosidius, anti-crime campaign. And then we also want to enforce peace. It's really just like the ruler population's getting a bit mad, I would say.
Establishing colony. New technology discovered.
Establishing colony. That's over at Alexandria now. Excellent. Our diplomatic weight has just been increased. Our claim influence cost reduction. Perfect for the amount of claims that we want to get for the Site 1066-7 override. Alright, so these guys can actually now upgrade slightly and improve. So, yeah, let's just do it and see what we kind of end up getting. So we're on... It'd be interesting to see if this, how much it goes up. It's on about 9,000. It was 9.9 before. We're upgrading the crap out of them. One of the latest DLCs, I think, for Stellaris added the Mega Shipyard. I'd love to make one of those. I've never seen one before. And then once they're done upgrading, we'll send them west again. We'll have to have a look at their... Actually, we could have a look at their ships really quickly right now. So just a basic destroyer, level 4, level 3, level 3. Okay, cool. So our speed is pretty good. We're full up on food. Let's just sell it for now.
Fleets enhanced.
Excellent. So 9.5k in total.
Fleets enhanced.
Alright, Titus Opsius Norilgicus, probably the most famous general that we have, or admiral. He's gonna start heading west with his speedy corvette fleet. Look at the speed.
Construction online.
Oh yes, that is nice and fast. Love to see it. We can definitely get around and protect ourselves much more now, I think. Who are these guys? Oh, that's the patrol fleet. You know what? You can actually chill here and upgrade as well. It'll be even faster.
Fleets enhanced.
Okay. So they go to Augusta and then they go all the way back to Sol, I think. Alright, great. So a little bit slower. Oh, look at this. United Picari League. No way. How did they do that? The Picari are the secondary species of the Tyrene Republic, and they have formed their own empire somehow in the middle of Site 1066-7 override. How has that happened? They have a wormhole, so I guess that must lead... Well, I don't know. We don't know where it leads. But I guess that's how they did it. That's crazy. Yeah, it's just strange, because they're like a subservient species. It'd be different if it was like a main one. This guy is done at the Corinth system. Let's just head out here. And this scientist is done as well. So yeah, we'll just, again, head out and keep helping to survey. Alrighty. It's a bit of a slower episode, I feel, just because we're just moving things around, working on planets, but we're getting everything ready for the next war. I'm just really interested to see, like, are we going to get hit by a raid again? And if so, can we compete? Is it going to be bigger than that 6k strength? And if it is 6k strength, now that we have the technologies to give us a 40% damage modifier, will we be better, you know? The other thing I haven't thought about is, should we form a federation, a hegemony federation? Some people said we should do that early on, when we first started out. I don't know if it would make sense, but it's something to think about. Giving them all our excess food, keeping them super happy. I'm kind of just waiting for the colony at Alexandria to start up again. It's called Olympia. I need to rename that. And then once that happens, I can enact a decision for a resort world. Alright. Excellent. Claim costs are down. Economic doctrine, the free market. I'm a free market kind of guy. So I might do that. Federalized state. These are all policies and stances. I don't know if we really need them. Let's do the hyper entertainment comms forum actually. Just these. It's a really cheap tech. 5 months, not that long at all. We are way under our Empire sprawl now as well, by 100. Wonder what the Nerilga swarm situation is. There are 35 of them left. Not many to go. 2 unemployed pops at Gaia. Let's just keep slamming out the food for now. 20 farmers. Terra has some unemployment as well. 4 worker pops not doing anything. I'd like to move them to here. So we'll actually ruin a building slot if we do that. So let's check in on the Zero distillery. I'm just kind of tempted to see how it works. So the Zero distillery takes 10 energy, 10 minerals, 4 consumer goods, 2 motes, 2 gases, and 2 rare crystals, and it outputs 3 Zero. Which we don't even use yet, but I don't know. I'd like to store it up. And we've balanced our goods as well. Like, we have 0 income on all of them, so we're gonna have to start investing into those buildings to get more out of them in future. I wonder, would the Tyrene or would anyone care if I gave them rare crystals? As a, hey, how's it going? Let's be friends kind of thing. Who else could we be friends with? Honestly, got nothing against any of these 3. Not too much. It's the Traxians that are kind of evil. The Ancient Eradicators are kind of evil. Or at least the biggest threats. The Dagateni Kingdom. Wonder what the Kosher Trade League would trade. Like, could we trade for alloys, let's say? Probably not, but maybe. So you give me 1,000 alloys, and I'll give you 1,000 crystals. Would you like that? What about living crystal? That's a way of checking, actually, how much I have. Holy crap, look at that. They're like, hell yeah. Awesome. This is super valuable, then. So let's even it out. We'll say 750 for, I don't know, 3,800. Just to give it a nice feel to it. And then if we wanted, we could throw in some Zro. Maybe bring that up even more. 4,000. Seems like a pretty good deal. 4,000 alloys. Hell yeah. I wonder how much they have if they just have 4,000 sitting in a bank. Your terms are reasonable. The Kosher Trade League accepts your trade offer. Excellent. Excellent. That speeds us up a lot to get those alloys, because now we could just start building into the fleet like straight away and have it ready to go. And what we're going to use all those alloys for, primarily, is starbase upgrades. So that one's good. We want to upgrade all our starbases to the next level if we can. And then we'll start outfitting them with all the things they need. Yeah, so Star Fortress is the biggest we can go right now. Good. Yeah, that's actually really great.
New technology discovered.
The Canadrius system. Canadrius, all the way down here. Probably don't need to do that, but whatever. So, can we build something unique? We can build a dry dock, which is shipyard capacity 5. Huh, interesting. Definitely want one of those. I'm trying to think of what the name of the building is that allows you to... Oh, I think you have to talk to them first, don't you? So we talk to these guys. We seek your expertise. We have a talented executive standing by, ready to migrate to the Roman Empire and get any of your sectors back out of the red. 500 and we get a new governor. Okay. Kind of interested to see what he is. Isn't there... I guess there isn't. I thought there was a way to say, like, it might be only for the curator order, actually. Where you say, like, hey, like, give me that thing. And they're like, oh, yeah, cool. And then it gives us a new starbase module that we can use. If we don't have that here, there's no need in building this starbase at all. I mean, I could build... Yeah, I really don't need it. I'll just get rid of it. Don't think I need it. But anyway, let's check out that leader. So he's been getting the most out of science here. Let's just have a look, though. Who else could we use? So we got this person who is trade value 10%. Perfect for the Alexandria sector, if we're going to buff them up there. Or make all that all about trade. Advanced Materials Laboratory. Again, another crazy tech building that we probably don't need. Metallurgist output, mineral purification hubs. Let's go with that. Robo-modding, actually. Let's do that. Actually, you know what? I changed my mind on that. I don't want robo-modding. Okay. Where are we at? Where's our fleets at? That fleet's a little bit behind, so we have to move all the way down here. They're on the way now, though. No more interruptions. I'm thinking about building a dry dock here. So then I think this building is going to get... This is +1 shipyard, right? Yeah, this gives 5. So then we can make 9 ships at once out of the Tiberium station, which is pretty crazy. It's almost like a mega shipyard, basically. A holo temple, absolutely. Alright, now we can go down the better weapons chain. Oh, I'm going to get just a little bit more research. I'm a research whore. We're at about 1,300 research, which is crazy. Is that colony set up yet? Still not done yet. God damn it. Elysium will suffer until that is done. We don't actually have any criminals. We have criminal jobs, but nobody is taking them up. Which is kind of funny. Well, let's just resettle any pops that we have that are unemployed. So Colonia Pacifica has 3 unemployed pops. Even if they're robots, I don't care. Let's just get them on there. So anywhere else that has unemployment, Scythia has 2 unemployment as a relic world. 2 Colden, actually. We're just reading about them. We'll leave them there. Relic worlds, I think, are specifically good at technology, aren't they? Habitability. Well, I guess not. I thought they were. But they can be turned into restore Ecumenopolis for 20,000 minerals. Yeah, let's work towards that then, and then we can turn this into a city world, a city planet, and just make a massive alloy forge out of it. That'd be insane. Yeah, that's probably what we'll work towards. Restoring the Ecumenopolis here, rebuilding it. We don't need the technology to learn how to do it. We can just restore it. Senate's now in session, so we are not supporting this one, the relocation of the galactic market. But I think it might not be that bad of an idea if we end up winning out. So we'll support it for now. Let's just stay opposed. I can't go back, actually. I have to wait a little while. I was going to say, let's stay opposed and see what happens. The galactic market is in Astishi. So if we integrate it, we'll get it ourselves. Integrate the Tyrene. But it might be tempting to just re-roll and see if we can actually compete. But until Alexandria is set up, I'm not that confident. We need to wait until that's done, and then build like 4 trade nodes, and then set up a new patrol fleet. There's a whole lot to do out there. How's Princess Appia coming along? She is now 81. She looks not a day over 46, I would say. Rivalries. She actually just leveled up. She's now level 6. I don't know what that means. Does that mean she's better at her traits or something? Edict duration is increased and monthly unity is increased. Alright, didn't realize that. That's cool. So consumer goods could do with being better on the Cicero planet. Maybe we'll build a new one. Manufacturing. Let's crank out civilian industry even more. Amenities are pretty good here.
New technology discovered.
Make it even better. Raise the stability of these worlds. Research station output has been increased. Oh shit, we'll have to read about that. There is some crime on Elysium right now. It's not good. Cyclonic deflectors.
Conquered another world.
I didn't realize how that time play there. Multi-dimensional studies. Wow. I don't know. I think we'll go with shields. Weaponry, I think, is important for us at this stage. I don't have the capacity to start building better tech or anything like that. But this is pretty cool. I don't even know. Shield hit points 870 daily regen. Are they just better than this? Like large advanced shields. 660 and 6.6. This is 870 and 0.05 regen. So their daily regen is way less. Oh no, it's not. It's percentage based. 0.5%. Whereas this is just a hard 6.6. Now 0.5% of what is essentially you could round up to it be 1,000. I don't know if it would be as good. I guess you could just do both, right? You could have both types of shields on. But let's just start off with the smaller tech option first, I think, before we work our way up. Alright, anyways. Another research here. Create the penal colony for crime. Kind of makes sense to do that now, but I would rather not. A galactic stock exchange. Absolutely. I don't know if we could have that on Alexandria, but it'd be kind of interesting. It wouldn't really make sense, I don't think. It's more a bureaucratic thing. But maybe. Contraband has been seized on Elysium. So Elysium's having all sorts of problems right now because of the crime that's on the planet. We've negotiated, or we have an anti-crime campaign going, and we've built enforcer jobs. We don't have anyone being one, but now we do. So that's going to reduce the crime and flatten it out. Okay, cool. Following up on an anonymous tip, enforcers on Elysium recently stormed a large warehouse on the outskirts of the planet's capital. Inside, they found a considerable stash of contraband, evidently stored here by a local criminal organization. Several arrests have been made, and the impounded contraband is now safely stored in government depots. So we took some volatile notes. Okay, cool. And we've got the guys in position now, so that should be a little bit better. I don't understand how I'm doing this. Are they not demoting when I take them off? I guess I'll just have to unselect that. The curator wants to know, do we want to pay again for the research speed and opinion modifier? Absolutely. Extend the deal. Let's go.
Systems surveyed.
Systems are being surveyed out this way. Alright, they're all set up and good. More tech has been done. So we got the strike craft. Nice. Structure. I'm just constantly reading out text in this playthrough. Oh my god. Let's see. Flak cannons, everything military. That's what I want now. Advanced railguns, yes. Our ships are on the way to... They're at Tiberium now, are they? Stay at Tiberium for a sec. The others can keep going. If you're the big fleet gonna build big. Enter orbit. Has the dry dock been built? It has been. Awesome. So, with the dry dock built, I'll check that in a second. Classis 1 can now be upgraded big time. And we just, oh my god, our alloys, we just got 5k like out of nowhere. I guess from the deal and then just like building it up over time, but it is flying up even after we paid for all the star bases. So, nothing, I don't have anything too special in terms of fleet build still, but our fleets are getting a little bit more intricate and complicated. Let's build another type of cruiser. Might be kind of fun. So let's see. So we have the Minerva, which has our large crystal shard thrower. Let's go with one that's... Well, let's just see what's available to us. Maybe a torpedo. go all torpedoes or something like that. A missile core. So torpedoes are going to be doing good against shield penetration and armor damage. Now their armor was kind of weaker than the Site 10667 override, but they had stronger shields. So that'd be good at like just taking it out, I guess. And then we'll try to do something that exploits the armor more. The autocannon, that's against shields, energy siphons. So X-ray lasers, yeah. It's a bit more focused on armor. And then we have crystal forged plating, which is going to give us ship hull points. So just make these things massive tanks. And then armor. And then shields. So we've just given a ton of like HP to the ship, 2,000, and then we're adding a little bit of armor on and a little bit extra shields on. Now we could go with a shield capacitor to buff our shields further, considering that they're kind of low. And then we could also go with regenerative hull tissue, so that the hulls then repair themselves. It's kind of interesting. With loads of power on the ship. So we could go with something that gives us strong... Is there anything for stronger? Daily shield regen. Sublight speed. Shield hit points. That would be good. Auxiliary shield system. Accuracy 10%. Now these things are super accurate already. 100%. Excuse me. Hull and armor regen. Damage control teams. Let's do that then. And then our stance. Now we're going to be all over the place in terms of range, but I guess it would be nice to sit back and just fire the torpedoes. What's the range of this thing? 60? So maybe we'll sit at 60 if we can. Artillery tactic. Ships will move up to the shown distance 60 and then hold position. Alright, let's try that. Let's just give it a random name. Mercury. It's fine. I'll just build a couple of those just for fun to add into the fleet. So I'm going to just double down on more Hastati. Get some more of those Velites. Oh yeah, gotta get rid of those Raiders at some point. The Destroyers are the point defense guys. And then the Gladius. And I've never added in the cruisers, have I not? Or if I did it, maybe they were taken out? Not sure. Let's get our cruiser in the Mercury class. The Minerva. 2 and 2. And that's 4,800 alloys straight away. Let's rapidly increase our fleet. I think that's all going to be built here. Yeah. And this should be set as home base. So we're at 9.9k. So we're getting our first... We never had cruisers in our fleet before? Maybe not. I thought we did. Because I designed them. But I guess we never used it? Well, either way, we're getting them. Order has been restored on Elysium. With the significant reduction of crime in Elysium, the planet's once pervasive criminal underworld has been reduced to nothingness. The population has been imbued with a renewed sense of safety and harmony. Love to see it. So there's no criminals. It says 1 actually, but there isn't. And we have enforcers and all of that, so that's fine. They're actually producing unity. We'll leave them here for a while because there's such low amenities. We kind of need that. Although arguably they could just work on... Yeah, no, we'll keep them enforcing for now. Alright. And once Alexandria is set up, then we can move that. So scientist Marcellus Orsivius died at the age of 100, and scientist Numerius Trebatius died at the age of 89. So we need a couple new ones. Postuma, she's going to get on the ship outside of Terra. I guess she can just assist research here. And where's the other scientist that's gone? The Diodorus. Research speed 5%, archaeological speed 25%. Let's do that. Oh yeah, he would be doing the archaeological digs, but he's so low. He needs to like level up. So let's put him in a regular research position, and then over time he'll level up. So we have... Let's get... He's actually pretty suited to that. Let's get Mayo up, Turnia off. Let's get Postuma in. Let's get Mayo here. Let's see if she can do anything with this. I doubt, though. it's going to be pretty tough to break through. Ongoing excavation, nothing to report yet. Alright. I'm interested to see these ships come out. Oh yeah, we're starting to see some numbers now. 11k, 12.2k. That's what I like to see. Getting ready for that fat invasion of Site 10667 override. The cruisers are now being built. The destroyers are being churned.
System scan complete.
And other fleets are making it to the Eta Cassiopeia system. Still some stuff to get out here. Now, have our things been built up yet? Almost 200 days to go, and then we can fit them out with trade and stuff like that. Gonna give some food to the Kosher Trade League just to make them happier with me. Offer a trade deal just to say thanks. The Roman Empire have an abundance of food. We wish to see that you guys thrive. Now, how's the relocation of the galactic market going? Interesting! People have now come over to the side of opposition. I can oppose it. I'll oppose it for now.
Surveyed.
It is pretty interesting. It's like I guess, because there is a diplomatic reason to say, like, I'm going to be with or against certain people. So that's how these, like, cliques kind of form. That is a really even, that's the most even vote we've had so far. As of yet. And we don't know where it's going to relocate to. You basically just say, like, I want it to be here. And, you know, people fight over it, essentially. So this has now been sorted out. Let's go decision. Create a resort world. This world is set aside as a peaceful resort world, attracting tourists and visitors from far away. To preserve the planet's natural beauty, construction on the surface is severely limited. So that's taking away all of our districts. But Resort World is going to add other Empire colonies, amenities 15%, and immigration pull 15%, on all the other colonies. I don't know why they get immigration pull, but I guess just the Empire in general is better because we have a Resort World within it. And then here, there's a clerk job for every 2 pops. So every time we get 2 pops, we just get jobs without even needing the districts. So it's kind of a weird one, but it's also quite interesting. And as we build out, we still get the building slots, so we can still do things there. And we can probably put that new governor here instead, and they can be used to buff the amenities and trade here. So Alexandria, the crown jewel. The #1 destination in the Roman Empire. Alright, how's it going? Candia is still rapidly falling apart, which is sad to see, but there you go. Boundless ocean. And how many pops are there left? 28. Norilga left on the planet. We're at 22,000 minerals, so I know what that means. Let's go to the relic world. Scythia. Decisions. Where can we do it? Restore Ecumenopolis. Ah, we need anti-grav engineering. Shit. Okay, we're close. We have what we need. That's alright. Well, let's just build up some districts now anyway. Make it 500 per... Let's just start selling some minerals. We got too many. So just sell 300 and we'll use the rest just to build some things right now. Kind of want to change some of these things, like replace them with city districts. Okay, good. And I'll go through everything and sort them out again in between episodes. The important thing to note is just that our cruisers are built. There they are at the back, I think. They're looking thick. That's obviously the artillery one. You can see all the torpedoes on top. Our raider ships are still going strong. Probably slowing us down, actually, to be completely honest. Let's have a look at what their speed is. Yeah, I'm going to have to... I think it's time to decommission them, unfortunately. So let's just break them out. There they are. They're on their own. That's going to be slowing our fleet down. So let's just do one final upgrade of our ships. The destroyers are going to upgrade. Oh my god, look how many go at the same time. Yes! The dry dock is OP. I love it. 15.1k. Excellent. Alright, let's go. Let's get in position for Site 10667 override. The supremacy chain is now done. Boom. Enabling us to get another ascension perk. And before I pick one, I'm not going to pick one yet anyway. I know people have been saying, get the Flesh's Week, get Mind Over Matter, and stuff like that. I'm not going to get the main 3 Utopia ones. I just don't want them. I know the outcomes. When I know the outcome of something, I just don't want to do it. Because it's, to me, it's boring. You know, there was a top comment, or one of the highest voted up comments was saying, hey, you should watch A-Spec. There's this YouTuber that like covers, like, I know who A-Spec is, obviously. I know his videos. I don't watch him personally. I don't really watch much YouTube in general. This is going to be really weird to explain, but generally speaking, if I could kind of make it concise, I don't enjoy stats, modifiers, or knowing the outcomes of events and things like that in this game, or in most games. Like, I'm really into strategy games, and when I set up a strategy gaming channel, Republic of Play, I had no idea that everyone was so into stats. At least that's what it seems like when you read comments on YouTube. I don't know if that's the majority of people or if it's just the vocal minority, but I'm assuming it's the majority. Where people like, if I guess for a lot of people, when they see something come up in the research, right, jump drives, they're like, you gotta get the jump drives, you know. And for me, I'm more interested in just having, like, I don't need to get the best thing like all the time. I know that's such a weird thing for people. But that, you know, I just like to play immersively. I'm like, yeah, I'm a little hesitant to get the jump drives because it says it's dangerous, so I'm going to leave it for a while. And it's just things like that. It's like, I don't want to know. You know, people are messaging me about the outcomes of, like, events and things. I'm like, I don't want to know. Like, I already know about the Shroud and Mind Over Matter, so that's done. Like, I'll never do that again because I'm done with that. You know, I don't want to be optimal. It's not the goal. The goal is to be... It's such a hard thing to explain. Because I feel like I just sound weird. The goal is to experience the game as if it's the first time that I'm playing. That's basically it. It's like, I'm going to make the best informed decision that I can given the information I have. I guess that's the best way to look at it. And that's the way I try to play almost all games. And I'm not a numbers guy. That's just me personally. So I don't crunch the stats on things to figure out the optimals. That's just like a more personal thing. There's nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with any way you want to play ever. But that's just, if I could explain, you know, a reason why I have like a big disconnect with a lot of people. I feel like I enjoy games in a really different way to people. I don't know why that is. It actually really upsets me because I feel like I'm such a loner in that regard. Like, I don't really know people other than people I grew up with that play games the way I do, where it's like, yeah, like, I don't want to do the optimal thing. I want to do the different thing most of the time. But anyway, enough of a rant. But yeah, no shade to A-Spec. Like, that's his gig, is covering the patch notes, breaking down all the events, telling you exactly what's going to happen in a DLC before you've played it. Like, that's his thing, and he does really well with it. It's just not, that's not how I play games. I would never want to know any piece of content without just experiencing it for myself first and foremost. Something I have to end up looking up, though, is because there is a limit to how many ascension perks we have, I gotta look up what the optimal route is to take to get to Gigastructural Constructs. Like, I need Galactic Wonders ascension perk. Okay, so how do I get that? I need Mega Engineering Tech. Okay, so how do I get that? I don't know. I know that Voidborn can increase the chance of getting it or something. I gotta look that up because I don't know. And I don't want to, like, lock myself out completely. So I will try to look that stuff up, obviously. Alright, anyways. Hope that makes a little bit of sense to people. You know, hopefully. But that's always been a big problem for me when in covering strategy games, especially, where it's like, I'm a mechanics-driven player. I love mechanics in games. But I never look at stats in them. Like, I just never look at that stuff. I like hard counters. If I was making a strategy game, I don't think I would ever display any stats. And I'd actually probably randomize a lot of things. And that probably sounds like hell to a lot of people out there. But I don't know. I'd love to see it. Because if you think of a basic game, like chess, on a fundamental level, it's just all counters and forward planning. And I do believe that that kind of thing is possible in a game like this, even. Where, for instance, in a ship designer, you could just have like things are hard counters to each other rather than 50% shield damage with like cooldowns and all that stuff. Like I don't know about all that. For me personally, I would just rather like straight up like this counters this and this counters this, and maybe they have a strength rating, but other than that, I wouldn't make it much more complicated than that. But anyway, that's just me. You don't have to worry about my game ever happening anytime soon. Anyways, alright, anyway, so that's going to be it for this episode. Bit of a rant at the end, but hopefully that gives you an insight into some things that I enjoy. And if people who've watched my Frostpunk know, like, it's like, yeah, I just play it like an immersive. It's my first time playing. I've tried to make the best choices I can, and also the choices that fit the style of play I'm going for. So yeah. Alright, so no word on the Vazarin hegemony in this episode. Our fleet has built up to quite a decent strength now, so I have no fear that this is going to be a tough fight. They're pathetic to me now. I don't want the campaign to just become too easy, but it seems like we are amongst the strongest in the galaxy now already, which I'm super surprised by, although there are some other empires keeping up their equivalency with me. So yep, so next episode I think we're going to lay a bunch of claims and just start pushing in and try to dismantle as many of these guys as we can to create more alloys, and in that regard then we will position ourselves to create our own megastructures and things like that in the future. That's the idea. All the while figuring out what's going on with the Vazarin hegemony and trying to position ourselves as the dominant force within the galactic community. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.